Let's fight. A very good evening to each and every one of you. Some of y'all bothering we. It's when they're coming on. When he coming on, some of y'all are in the ring junkies, you know. Some of y'all are in the ring junkies. When they coming on, y'all pay me? eh? Y'all pay me? When they coming on, that's how we hearing. People messaging, we calling, we behind the scenes. When they come on, y'all don't pay me. For the more share the live stream, man. Share the live stream, let me go down the road. When they coming on, when they coming on. Some of y'all probably even bait since y'all come home. And y'all wondering when we coming on. That's not your business. Huh? When we coming on, Y'all like junkies. Y'all are political junkies, social commentary junkies. Y'all need help. I don't know if the Salvation Army can help you. I don't know if the Salvation Army can help y'all. Folks, y'all know the price of admission is to share the live stream. But things getting expensive. The price might change soon. I tell y'all, things getting expensive. And that price might change soon, y'all. Junkies. So we got the trenches, we got the junkies, we got the jagabats. Oh, Father, we got the nakavakamites. We got everybody in the ring. Good to see each and every one of you. Joyce joining us there from Queens. Good to see each and every one of you. It's a set of junkies we got here. I see some of y'all watching your clock. What a clock? They ain't coming on yet. Duncan ain't coming on yet. Where them boys there? Well, I there. Look, sometimes you got to stay back to see what kind of thing will happen, you know. Sometimes we got to stay back to see what is going to happen. Those folks in Suriname who joining us. Y'all know what we're talking about. Our Barbadian brothers, y'all know what we're talking about. Trinidad. You know what we're talking about. Y'all know the thing. Guys, so share the live stream. We're going to have a couple of friends perhaps dropping by a little later on in the program. So much to get through this evening. Good to have each and every one of you in. Y'all is some real chunky, you know. Marcy Griffiths present. Gloria Chester present. Quincy Hunt. Melinda McKenzie. Good to see each and every one of you. Is it Hula? Hazelyn King. Good to see Hazelyn and Desiree. Smart Fox. Right. Is it Kaichor Bias? What kind of fancy name y'all got, man? Your parents cruelty, y'all. Philo Song, Marcia Griffith, Desiree Chapman, Lily McGarrell, Ewan McFoy, hope I called that right, Erwin Don Cook, Yvonne McPherson. Good to have so many of you in the ring, guys. Privilege, really and truly privileged to have all of you in the ring with us. Pamela Peters. Guys, y'all better share this live stream. I'm going to fight some of you because y'all are not doing what you got to do, right? Those people on Christopher Jones' page are coming to y'all later on. Because y'all getting besides y'all. And some of y'all on Apno AFC page, y'all don't even want to pay the price of admission. Things going up. Y'all don't even want to pay the price of admission. You understand? I'm telling you all so long. I got a chair ain't hot in my back. Today I went to look for a chair at a place. Folks, when I see the chair prices are down, you got to take this an installment, but 49,000. 49,000. I said, Duncan, you have to take this an installment and pay a little bit. You understand? Sitting down behind here for a whole hour and prepping for about 4 hours before the program takes a lot out of your back, you know. You got to put some back into it, people. I put my back, my spine, everything. When I see the price, I said, why? I said, wow. Y'all think it easy? Pay the price of admissions for Hermina Glenn Haywood. Pay the price of admission. See, Father Mike got the popcorn and the cokes. I want to see that emoji. Look for your popcorn and look for your cokes. Think tonight. Think there. Guys, we hope you've had a good day at work. Wherever y'all are doing. What's y'all in teething? Like some people in this government. What's y'all in teething? We hope you had a good day, folks. Share the live stream wherever you're joining us from. I see Miss Reynolds is here, Carletta Reynolds, and all the other folks, Amber and Diane Fordyce, and I see all of you guys, Emily Durant, Hollis London. Good to see all of you guys. Those folks who are joining us from the UK, who stay up to join us from the UK, y'all good? And I want to give you all a special shout out. Y'all good. Right? Y'all different. Y'all like a road I can talk about soon enough. Y'all different. Folks, I want y'all to share the live stream. I want you guys to share the live stream. I think we did exceptionally well last evening. Exceptionally well last evening. Let me see. Let me see how we did last evening. Credits to you guys. It's not me. It's all yours because y'all fast. I only come because y'all fast. If y'all shop, I can shop. I only come because y'all fast, people. There's a whole set of fast people. Good to see all of you guys there. Share the damn live stream. Good to see all of you. All right. I went and protest today, and I'm still here. I'm still here. Good to see all of you guys. Good to see all of you guys. I'm just checking to see, checking my notes here, checking the data, checking the information. Gotta give you guys credible and valid information. Yes. We're looking good. We're looking good. We're looking good, folks. We're looking real good. And I am pleased to let you know that even though we didn't surpass Monday night's viewership, people, even though we did not surpass Monday night's viewership, 27,000 people watched our program last evening thus far. Y'all take that for y'all fast. Put it in your pipe and smoke it. Put it in your pipe and smoke it. Let me tell you this. I am so privileged that you guys come here. I'm so privileged, guys. I do not take this opportunity and I do not take this time with you, for granted at all. Folks, I might be in the States in a couple of days, so I got practice. I'm gonna put on my accent. I don't take this time with you guys for granted at all. Right? So we prepare. The team is always working. We are going to be tweaking this show. And if y'all think we good, y'all hold on. Very soon we will overhaul the whole program. When we come into y'all can think it's CNN. It's drum roll, it's all kind. Y'all can think it's CNN. It's one camera here. Welcome. Turn to the left, turn to the right. Cameras all over, folks. We are going to tweak this program until we get it to where we think we need it to be, and giving you good quality information, good quality content, and the aesthetics as well. And we're going to be asking you guys to help us to do that. Help us to get from point A to B to C, because we start at point A. We start on Zoom, people. Looking anyhow. But I never wanted to treat you, never want to treat you guys anyhow. And so we've been at it, tweaking. Good to see you, Gwyneth Jones and Carol Robinson and Oren, Baker and Lisa Pitt, Marcelos DeAndre. Good to see all of you folks. Good to see all of you. So many of you guys join us. Guys, share the live stream. Do y'all buy a favor? Share the live stream now. I'm begging. Oh. Do you buy a favor and share the live stream, folks? Share. Brian Small, Shelly the Raider. Folks, we got to make this show 2 hours, because it can take me an hour just to call the register. 1 hour just to call the register. June Birch and Michael Fraser. And some of y'all got legal problems. Y'all like it, y'all name call. Right, Roxanne, Odessa Jacobs and Blessed Child, Rita Singh, Mimi Hendricks, Anne-Marie Selby. And folks, I saw a comment just now talking about our viewership, and we know that more people than that view us, because we know in some households, y'all, they're on the smart TV. 10 of y'all, they're on the smart TV watching. Y'all living in a 2x4, y'all TV is 175 inch. And 10 of y'all watching. So we know the viewership is even greater than that, folks. And we love the fact that people are joining us from across the diaspora. I call Suriname for a particular reason, because we see our technicians at the back end tell us the folks from Suriname are tuning in, because we can see all of that. Barbados tuning in, Trinidad tuning in, St. Lucia tuning in, Japan. I saw Japan. Who in Japan watching? Guyanese all over. Guyanese all over. Right? Got to be Alson Hunt in Japan. Japan watching us. I got to now take, Japanese as a foreign language now. Japan watching us. So we are privileged. Lambert watching us from this fancy name place. He joining us from, what's the call name for this place? Lambert watching us from the suburbs in YouTube. Folks on Twitter, thanks for joining us. Folks on Facebook, thanks for joining us. Folks on YouTube, thanks for joining us. Guys, you know what it takes. You know the effort it takes not to say tube, C-H-U-B, YouTube. The way Guyanese people say YouTube, tubers. Good to have you guys here with us. Let me practice my accent a little bit. Good to have Lily and Marsha Glasgow, Vanessa Lewis, Andrew Cuthbert, Jean Bond. Good to have you, and Melissa Barnwell Tappin Bradford. She learned to spell those names when she was about 18 years. There's plenty names. And Raul Brando Ramachar. Good to have all you guys. Yes, and my colleague in the suburbs, he's joining us from Canada, Lambert. Yes. Give me this name. Just tell me Canada. Don't give me them fancy French names. Candace Narain in the ring. Queens, New York is in the ring. Matthew Dennison in the ring. Vanessa De Silva. Oh my God. I need an assistant just to call the register. Gregory Mentor in the ring. Good to have you guys. Guys, let's get through some of these hot topics. Oh my, I am 15 minutes into the program. Just call the register, you know. 15 minutes. Take out your books now and head up. Take out your books and head up. Take out your books and head up. The word for today is COVID. The word for today is COVID. Let me make sure I have my notes. The word for today is COVID. These guys painstakingly put this information together, and I can't abandon it. The word for today is COVID. COVID-19. And let me ensure that we got the notes right. Yeah, folks, the word for today is COVID. Good to have each and every one of you with us again. And folks, we come on this evening with some breaking news and serious news on this COVID front. And you will understand why we are going to move this motion of no confidence against the installed, fraudulent and installed Frank Anthony. Because today we have topped 500 COVID cases. As a matter of fact, folks, it's at 503. We've had 4 deaths, if not 5. I think I saw the guys put it in somewhere. 5 new COVID deaths today, which has taken us past the 500 mark. And I do not say this lightly. As I was coming on, a colleague of mine from Barbados sent me some information that indicates that Barbados got a few imported cases of COVID and they have gone back into lockdown. And prior talking about opening schools in September, deaths are going up. Confirmed cases are going up. Now Frank Anthony is trying to save himself from a no confidence motion, and so he's talking all manner of lies. He said things are going back to normal. That's what Frank Anthony said. And in the same breath, talking about hotspots. There are some hotspots, but they see things leveling off. Nonsense. A couple imported cases in Barbados. And Barbados, ladies and gentlemen, Barbados has gone back into lockdown. And I've seen in Trinidad, Rowley, one of the better leaders in Trinidad, Keith Rowley. If you all know Keith, I would love to have Keith on this program. Prime Minister Keith Rowley, a good gentleman from all accounts. He has already signaled to them that if they step out the line and COVID start going in a different direction from where it is, they're gone back into lockdown. We had some casual lockdowns. Y'all know nobody never observed the COVID protocols. That is why the Private Sector Commission recently wrote to the president. Well, I see he went and meet with them. We can talk about that just now. They wrote to him and he went to meet with them. Right? He went to meet with them. But these guys don't care. So we at 503. And you all understand Peter Sills and Vanda Archibald, Marlene Van Veen and Nicole Brandis Higgins, Samantha Jilks and Hayes Linking. You all understand why this no confidence motion is coming Frank's way. Right? whether it's a no confidence motion in the parliament, in the National Assembly, we know that you guys, the members of the public, have no confidence in Frank. You guys have no confidence in Frank. Ernest Elliott and Brenda Braffett. No confidence in Frank. Guys, share the live stream. We want the world to know what is happening in our corner of the vineyard. Or the vineyard. Depends on which school you went to. Abigail, Otheline Prasad. All of you guys share. Gavin Holder, Peter Graham, share the live stream. So we're at 5:03, guys. There is where we are. And Frank is telling us today that we're expecting the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, the single dose, in August, next month. That's what Frank telling me. Folks, half of the problems this government getting is bad PR. It's bad PR. So they got to fire Kwame. And then I see Sewell, Finlay, Williams trying something. They got to fire Sewell. Folks, sometimes we got to tell our friends, you're making it. You might be cut out for something else. Right? Go and stamp rice or stitch bag or something. But you're making it. Half of the problems is communication with this government. Right? Because they have not told us, for instance, that the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, right? Let me make sure I'm quoting my notes correctly. The Food and Drug Administration in the US, it's a body they should be listening to, announced very recently, right? They came out with a new warning that shots of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine has been linked to serious but rare side effects called the Guillain-Barré syndrome. They haven't told us that as yet. And this syndrome, the Guillain-Barré syndrome, attacks the immune system. When is Frank going to tell us that? Huh? When Harman come out and say something, then you can hear, oh, we want people to be vaccinated. But it's poor PR on the part of the government. It is tremendously poor PR on the part of the government. So they're telling me the vaccines coming, Johnson & Johnson, but they ain't telling me yet that they have been serious but rare side effects. Right? Give us the information. Give us all of the information so that the public can make an intelligent decision concerning their health. And that is what we have said consistently on this program. We have said to you home here in Guyana and in the diaspora, get all the information on the vaccine and then make an intelligent decision as regards your health. Right? And this information I just quoted you is coming out of the Washington Post and the Wall Street Journal, but these guys don't read anything. They do not read anything. If you listen to them, listen to Frank, listen to Priya, right? Listen to Kwamisha, and you realize they don't read anything. So this information is available in the Wall Street Journal and the Washington Post, that the Johnson & Johnson has been linked to this rare blood clot that attacks the immune system, folks. As you share the live stream, you understand it's because the PR is so poor. We got into the trouble on the Sputnik V. Because again, they refuse to give the Guyanese public all the information concerning the Sputnik V. They have refused. The PR is so poor. People getting hundreds of thousands of taxpayers' dollars, and the PR is so poor, top to bottom. Guys, what on God's earth is NCN doing? What is DPI doing? Chronicle, huh? And the whole outfit that follows around the president's own press corps. What are they doing? The PR is poor. And let me show you how the PR is poor. Now, look how they get into problems on Sputnik V. We were at 503 deaths, right? And there are so many dates. As a matter of fact, they have been saying that this second dose of Sputnik V initially was you have to take the second dose within 12 weeks, right? Within 12 weeks of the first dose. Now, if you go through some of the newspapers, I saw the Ministry of Health itself said to us, the Ministry of Health itself said to us that in the Blue Book, in the blue book, and this is information I'm quoting out of the state media, in the blue book, ladies and gentlemen, right? You had 4 weeks initially. That's the first day they gave us. They said you can take the second dose within 4 weeks of the first. And then 4 weeks, which was 28 days, right? Now move to 12 weeks. They said they write somebody at the Russian Institute and they tell them 12 weeks. Right? And now I saw Starbucks News quite recently saying 180 days within taking the first dose, you can take the second dose. This is now 25 weeks. The information is all over the place. And then I see Frank said 90 days. I see one instance is 3 weeks. The PR, that is the point I'm making, people. The PR, Audrey Cumberbatch, GT Rude Girl, Claudette Harry. The PR is poor. Look what one woman said. Look what one woman said. I'm hitting the PR nail. That is the nail I'm hitting. Look what a citizen said. Her name is Tracy Ann, and this comment was posted on DPI. DPI was talking about people coming out for the second dose. You can check the DPI page. Check yesterday. Tracy Ann said, my son got the first dose of Sputnik in May. Now you're saying he can't get the second dose. Only those who got their first dose of Sputnik in April. This is utter nonsense. You all big and should have sense. So Tracy Ann turned up with her son to get his second dose of Sputnik, only to be turned back because the folks telling her that they're only dealing with April people. Why isn't that being clearly communicated to the press or through the press? Y'all on these things talking all kinds of nonsense. On these programs, talking all kinds of tripe, as my grandmother used to say, all kinds of tripe, besides the things that matter. And so poor Tracy Ann, concerned about her son and his health, because clearly the government isn't, is being asked to wait. Guys, share the live stream for us, wherever you're picking us up from. So you understand why we are saying that this no confidence motion is coming for Frank. It is coming for Frank, whether he likes it or not. Our thoughts and prayers go out to all of those persons we've lost to COVID-19 here in Guyana and our compatriots in the diaspora. Our thoughts and prayers go out to those we have lost, your family and their loved ones, folks. But this is the kind of government that we have. Turn our attention now. Shame on Frank. No confidence motion coming. Turn our attention now, folks, to the puppet presidency. Y'all know it's a puppet presidency. I know it's a puppet presidency. You know it's a puppet presidency. We all know. And once we're talking about puppet presidency, people, who we talking about? The crosses. The crosses. Folks, Jagdeo giving this man a chance. I know this is how crosses operate. But Jagdeo giving this man a chance. Huh? Shite, Jagdeo, shite. Huh? So Irfan went to see the private sector. Who turned up? Ishado. Huh? Medvedev and Putin. Huh? Medvedev went to talk to the private sector. Putin show up. Putin show up. Ian giving the man a chance. He's not giving the man a chance. He show up too. He like a mole. Y'all ever see anything like this? And we've been chronicling this puppet presidency. Huh? We have been chronicling it. Let me walk you all through some of it. Anything major, he there. Why? Because Ali can't talk for himself. Ali can't talk for himself. He there. And notice his position. Notice his position. He's the president. Notice where he's sitting. People, notice where he is sitting. He is seated or sitting. Notice we there? This is the puppet presidency, and they want to tell us Irfan is your own man? Madness. Puppet presidency. Anywhere you turn, right? Anywhere you turn, he there. But that's where you sign up for Irfan. That's where you sign up for your catfish self. You choose to be a catfish. You choose to be a catfish, and this is what you get. Folks, y'all share the live stream. Those of you watching us on Apno AFC page and Christopher Jones page and the Alliance for Change page and Sherry Duncan page, share the damn live stream. Let the whole world see the kind of puppet presidency we have here to deal with. Soon as you turn, he there. It's kindergarten, he being babysit or babysat. Soon as you turn, the thing looking bad. The thing looking bad. If you all don't know what bad looks like, this thing is looking bad. It is so bad. People are just going to see Irfan out of courtesy, but they know where the power behind the throne there. So I don't know why Irfan fooling himself. He's making himself an ass. It's looking bad. Puppet presidency. Puppet presidency. That is what we have happening here. It's a puppet show. And he is comfortable. Huh? Any grown man comfortable in his own skin would have been offended by this. He is not his own man. He is not his own man, and I have shown you conclusively Rakim Hercules, Derica Ferguson, Marcia Salmon. He is not his own man. Alexis Arthur. Huh? He is not his own man. The only thing missing from this photograph is a tricycle. You bring out your tricycle and Jagdeo pushing him. The people never wrote to him, Jagdeo. They wrote to Irfan. The private sector said, Irfan, we want to see you sleeping, not obeying COVID protocols. Yeah? Now, Jagdeo got to turn up to speak on his behalf. You all see madness happening in this place? Huh? Can they see you see what happening in this place? The people said that, Ali must discuss Jagdeo behind the back. That is what is happening. The man ain't getting a chance to breathe. Jagdeo says, that's so close. If little fat fall off Irfan, it land in Jagdeo head. Land on his nose. Right? And one wonders if one of the reasons they went to see the private sector commission, well, one was the sleeping issue. The private sector said they're tired of sleeping disrespectful, right? And perhaps they're even pushing for sleeping to close down. They're fed up. Right? One wonders if another reason is because businesses in this climate where the people be feeling the squeeze and they are not getting the kind of success in business that they thought they would have been getting under the PPP, the installed PPP. And so there's a lot of tensions that is raising. Right? One wonders if that is what is happening. So much so that just today, it was announced that GBTI in Lethem, they're closing. Right? Republic Bank in Lethem already closed. Oh, yes. Right. Some folks say it's as a result of COVID, but you and I who out there seeing the high prices, people don't have nothing for bank. You have money to bank. People ain't got nothing to bank. And so the banks in Lethem just closing. right? And so the private sector is upset. They're not feeling, I'm looking for some notes here, folks. They're not feeling the economic dynamism that was promised. They're not feeling that. This economic dynamism. And so GBTI doing well on the APNU AFC in Letem. Republic Bank. You see Pocketory here? You see Pocketory since these Jagdeo come in. Since these Jagdeo meet, the bank say part of the reason they are closing their doors in Letem is COVID. If that is so, then there's more COVID in Letem than we know. But Priya talking about opening schools, probably schools in Letem and opening. Because the banks in Letem closing because of COVID, one. But Priya saying school opening, banks closing, school opening. That makes sense? Total confunction nonsense. Total confunction nonsense. But we know part of the reason they are closing as well, folks. It is as a result of the economic climate in the country. You know why? Because the PPP is crisis. Prices are going up. Prices are going up every day. And I had a list of things that have gone up right at my fingertips. And like the OB strong, right? But it is more strong than the God I serve, because I want to call out some things from that list because things getting tight. I want to call some stuff from that list. And you guys know the things that have gone up by heart. We're going to circle back to that later on. We're going to circle back to that later on. I see Omar is still after Anette. Omar is chasing Anette. It is alleged that Annette Ferguson, Member of Parliament, the Honourable, published on her Facebook page or said something that hurt Omar feelings. Omar went to make a police report, and now the DPP, the Director of Public Prosecution, Shalimarha, has recommended that the police charge Omar. Well, I ain't got no surprises there. Charge Annette. Right? That is the recommendation, because Omar feelings hurt. He was emotionally distressed when Annette put the weight on him. He was emotionally distressed. And so the Director of Public Prosecution has recommended that our colleague, Annette Ferguson, is charged. But we're going to fight them. We ain't taking it, sir. We are going to fight them. I tell y'all, if y'all like Annette, just tell Annette. All right? The way I see y'all are going after Annette, something is more than that. And not only the going after Annette, I see Priya trying now. Priya trying with our colleague, McDonald. McDonald has told her teachers, y'all unemployed for sharing money. The Ministry of Education wants to change their job description. Want to change the job description. Right? And the teachers are having it. And Coretta MacDonald, Member of Parliament, who is the General Secretary of the Ghana Teachers Union, said, no, hold up, Priya. Right? Your Vidal is soon here and all of that. Hold up. Breaks up. Right? Breaks up, Priya. And Priya's in turn has returned to her base nature of lying. Of lying. Priya says that Coretta don't want the children to have money. And the parents. No, that money belongs to taxpayers. It belongs to those very children and their parents. It's not PPP money. Right? It is not PPP money. Right? And I saw a post on Nigel London's page, Pastor Nigel London, in which he articulates that very eloquently. You see, y'all don't read the PPP, the trenches. They don't read anything. That money come from Freedom House. Pastor London said that. It come from Freedom House. Right? If that 3.2 billion or how much ever come from Freedom House, kudos to y'all. It is taxpayers' money. Y'all are dispensing, giving y'all friends and cronies, and then the jagabats like Susan Rodriguez want to go to Linden and say, y'all ain't doing me no favor to take the house lots or to work with us. Right? This patrimony belongs to the people of Guyana and not the PPP. And beyond that, the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. Can I get an amen from Pastor London? It's not PPP money. What Coretta has said is that the teachers ain't going and involving themselves in sharing out money. Because part of the rules is that teachers shouldn't handle money. And it is the ministry that instructed them. Y'all go to teach school outside of COVID, y'all don't handle money. Don't worry with sharing and money and all them things. Right? So now prayer want to change the job description. Yeah? Change the job description. What to all them people that are sharing COVID cash grant and flood relief? All them build big houses. That's why y'all looking for more people to share money. All of them done build the big houses. Right? See, y'all don't bother. Don't rush up to Coretta and don't rush up to Anette. Because we are ready to fight y'all. Confusion powder, people. Confusion powder. My guests are about to come on. Confusion powder. Last thing I'll mention this evening. Last thing I'll mention in the hot topics. Confusion powder. The Sheriff Street Rounabout just different. People who use that area, y'all know. Y'all know. The Sheriff Street Rounabout just different. Now, I used to see that Jagdeo, that old used tire Jagdeo Freddy Kassoon, used to be talking about the roundabout by the seawall. Oh, it would be this and that and so on, that and everything negative. But I see talking about this roundabout by Sheriff Street. When you approach that roundabout, I confuse. And it's not for the want of intelligence. When you approach that roundabout, you are confused. I feel like going back home. You don't know where to go, left, right, or center. I confuse. Now, hear what a citizen said. Hear what a citizen said. Y'all don't take me word for it. Hear what a guy said. A guy was talking on Facebook, or a person rather. Yes. The name is Semi Fong. He was talking about the top 3 roller coasters in the world. Semi Fong. And Semi Fong said, right? Semi Fong said, people. Semi Fong said this. Let me go through it quickly before I get my guests on. Number 3 is King Lyken. King Lyken. Six Flags Great Adventure. That's number 3. Number 2 is Duppy Conqueror. Cool Runnings in Negril. And number 1, the number 1 roller coaster in the world, according to Semi Fong, is the Sheriff Street to Mandela Avenue roller coaster. Hear what he said. What I can say about the brains of this operation, what can I say about the brains of this operation? Sheer engineering brilliance. This is a citizen. It's not Apnu AFC, it's a citizen. The designers of this amusement park were able to bring the Pacaraima mountain range to Georgetown. Imagine hiking a mountain without having to the burden of exiting your car. That is semi-fun. Imagine hiking a mountain without the burden of exiting your car. This uneven terrain enjoys crazy fandom during the rainy season. This ride is all about you. You get to decide which crater to chance as you navigate through what looks like Afghanistan bombardment. You get to decide which crater you will navigate through in what looks like Afghanistan bombardment. He says, I love how they made this ride feel so real. Simulated minibuses bang and bang and bang their bottoms on the course that no evident walkway, that there is no evident walkway. Let me make sure I'm reading that right. Yes, simulated minibuses bang and bang their bottoms on that course. Yeah. He says it promises over 50 holes, each uniquely crafted for the quintessential thrill seeker. Oh my God, the quintessential thrill seeker. He says this is a real demolition course with no evident walkway for a simulated wayfare. Water is often splashed. These programmers are amazing. Semi-fun. Imagine these robots actually have human emotions. One even uttered, why you don't carry your bleep? Don't be fooled, Semi-fun says, by the sales gimmick of them having months-long construction equipment out there. Don't be fooled by that. This is to create a wild stock last effect. Don't fall for it. The ride is here to stay. Semi-fun people. Without further ado, guys, let me bring my guest up. Semi-fun in your skin. Semi-fun. Ladies and gentlemen, the the one and only MP, Treaty Finance, and I have also Christopher Jones. I don't know why Christopher's hiding. Christopher, why are you hiding tonight? Come forth, Christopher. MP Finance, welcome in the ring.
Good night, Sharon. Thank you for having me.
All right. What's happening at your end?
What's not happening? The country continues. We continue to be more and more devastated every day with the poor management of the economy by the PPP. Today is no different, Sharon. You can see it all over social media. Every single day is something new. There is nothing better. We are not seeing anything greater. I know today I was actually looking at some of the news, I believe, coming out of the government agencies, and they were happy to say that this country is at a state of such desperation that people were literally crying when they received the cash grant in Region 2. Sharon, I cannot understand how it is something exciting to know that as a government, you have managed this country so poorly that people are literally crying when they receive $19,000. How is that something that we celebrate today as Guyanese?
MP Finance, hold for me. Let me welcome MP Nima Flubest, the best flu. MP Flubest, welcome and good evening.
Hello. Good evening. Nice to be in the ring tonight with you, my comrades.
Thanks for joining us. Great. MP Finance, go right ahead.
I was saying, Sharon, when you do think about it, of all the things of the citizens of this country have been deprived of so much, you would know, and the citizens of Guyana would know that we have been speaking about, we have been campaigning for you guys, the public servants of this country, to get the pay increase. We have a government that completely neglects those basic responsibilities, and then we see those same set of people going out today as though they're bearing gifts by bringing a one-off $19,000 cash grant, so that this must be something we should be excited about, we should be elated about this. That is not how it works. It is completely sad to know that we have public servants in the system. Under the APNU AFC coalition, those persons got used to retroactive salary increase and so forth. We have we have had promises, 2 budgets after, absolutely nothing given to public service, and then here we have this gesture coming out from the government. And like I said, it is heartbreaking to watch, to see the devastation of persons in this country, that they are so excited and they are so relieved that they're getting this little pittance from the government right now. Mind you, Sharon, I know that some news agencies were speaking about campaign promises being delivered and all of that. I will remind persons that we promised $50,000 for a child. That was their actual campaign promise. So no, that's not a campaign promise delivered. And what you would know, Sharon, is that they went ahead even with the scholarships and they said delivered, when not one have been issued as yet. So this is a trend we keep seeing from the PPP. A lot of things wrapped up on promises, a lot of packaging done nicely with absolutely nothing inside that will cause real change. One of the things I noted today is a quote coming out from the Minister of Education, in which she was speaking about the $19,000, and she was speaking about it being an equitable distribution, Sharon. And I don't know if persons need classes to differentiate between equity and equality, but no aspect of giving everyone $19,000 satisfy the requirement for claiming that you have an equitable distribution of resources. Yes, you have equality to some extent, and I would understand that. We do not believe, because of the trends, especially with the $25,000 COVID-19 cash grant that went out, we yet have persons that have pink slips in their hands, yet to receive 1 penny from it. So again, we see another initiative going forward. We have no clear distribution mechanism that is set up. And again, we know that this is another system that we will have to investigate thoroughly to see who are the real beneficiaries of such a program. Sure, there is so much we can dig into when it comes to the management of resources by this government. But again, I say the government owes Guyanese so much more than a mere $19,000 one-off. We want to hear about the increased pay for the public servants. These are the real benefits. We cannot just go out there and think you can just keep packaging these little things every now and then. You go like Santa Claus and you drop a little pittance here and there, and persons are going to be satisfied. Real economic development is so much more. Again, I can go back to the concept of equity and equality. You cannot go to region 7, for example, way up in the upper mass, where a bottle of water is $1,100, and give that child $19,000, and then give a child on the coastline the same $19,000, and then come and claim that that is an equitable distribution of resources, right? So it is a completely different concept. I think persons should not use words that they're not familiar with, and that quote needs to be just retracted altogether. I would understand if she said she had an equal distribution and it was not tailored by any way, shape, or form, so that we can satisfy a basic criteria to have equal outcome coming out to the various communities and so forth. So again, Shard, I say persons are so put down, so persons are so devastated by the management of the PPP in this economy, that I can tell you, if persons get $10,000 today, if they get $5,000, they're going to be grateful, because this is the state that this country has come to under the PPP administration.
Yeah, and as you on that point, I want to bring in Nima Flubes, who is a teacher who can talk to us some more on that very point. Rice gone up, sugar gone up, oil gone up, flour gone up, chana, dal, black eyed peas, milk gone up, shallot, bora, bhaji, cabbage, squash, bygone gone up, pumpkin, pak choy, tomatoes, cucumber gone up, beef, chicken, eggs, pork, saltfish, sardine, fish, shrimp, corned beef, cheese, and the list goes on. All gone up.
Cost of living.
MP Flubes.
You're so right, my comrades. Everything gone up. What they're actually looking for Guyanese people to probably do now is to eat your butter and rice or your salt and rice to survive with what is happening in the market. When you have a family to take care of, you go to the market with that
MP
money.
I want to bring in MP Christopher Jones to join our discussion this evening. I don't have a drum roll for Chris, but Chris, welcome back.
Thank you very much, Sharon. I've been getting some problem with the device, so I'm using the cell phone. So I hope the video and audio is good.
Looks good thus far.
Okay, good.
MP flew best.
Yes, as I was saying, everything gone up. Every time you go to the market, I have to go to the market every week because I have to look after my family. Every single thing gone up, and I'm thinking how this recare cash grant that is being distributed, how would that really help a family that is in need? How would it help a family who got probably 5 kids or 4 kids inside and they're getting $190,000 or whatever? How would it help them? I'm really wondering in my mind what is the minister and all those persons who I don't even want to call the name because they give me headache to think about them, what they're suffering, what they're doing to the people of Guyana. It's very sad, especially when you move around and you see the struggles of our people day to day as they try to maneuver this crazy system that we are dealing with currently in Guyana. Very, very sad.
Yep, yep. MP Jones, I want you to jump right in there, but I know your fans, MP Jones, they're getting a little complacent on your page. They ain't sharing like they used to. I know if it's because you've been
Well, I hope they increase sharing now, being that I'm back and so forth. But just to add
MIA.
with Nima and Jurita, every single day, whether it's on social media, in the shops, in the marketplace that you go, people are complaining. Nothing that were promised by the PPP, you're seeing any reality of that now, and it's getting harder. It is, as I always said, there's perception and there is reality. And now that reality has stepped in, we are seeing the highest cost of living in decades. And of course, this comes on the heels of the massive discrimination within the workplace, the large amount of people, predominantly those of African descent, who have been terminated under this administration. Now, we are aware that a few months ago that you would have heard about 15, 25 persons being terminated. What is happening on a daily basis in many of the government ministries and agencies? They are 2 and 3 persons or 5 persons per day that are being terminated within those agencies. We don't hear about it because it's just a few. But if you multiply those numbers 5 times 5 days per week, you get 25 persons who are being terminated every week for the past couple of months, and those numbers add up. Now, you are aware that we have compiled a number of people who have been since the install administration. And the last tally that we used to be, and that is about 3 months ago. Now you add 5 persons who are being terminated every day and add that to the tally, you get the greater number in terms of how many people are affected by the People's Progressive Party. Coupled with the increase in cost of living and people are unemployed during a pandemic, coupled with 2 massive budgets that they tout that is the largest budget ever, but to date, the public servants have not
Yep,
received, as we would
yep,
say, a blind cent. Not a
yep,
Yep.
blind cent. And
yep.
what is more, the silence is deafening when it comes to the unions. Now, I don't know if this is the right forum to hit up, but listen, perception and reality. And the
Yep.
reality is that you're not hearing from the unions. They're unions that are representing these workers, and they have gone silent. And that is even more worrying because the instant we speak about the challenges that the public servants have, you will hear that we're politicizing it. But at the same time, the representative in which these workers are paying monthly dues for unions to represent their interests, you're not hearing from them, and the silence is deafening. So you have all of this compounding with this all administration, this country. You understand me? When you spoke, Sherrod, recently about the youngster that met his demise by jumping off the Demerara Harbor Bridge, we are now
Yeah,
hearing about persons in villages that congest poisonous substance. And
yeah,
this is happening almost on a daily basis across the country because people are frustrated. And this
yeah.
frustration has been brought about by the installed People's Progressive Party Civic. We are in a situation in this country, Sherrod, that
Yeah.
Just even speaking about it, it doesn't does it justice.
Chris,
Doesn't does justice.
on that very point, I want to bring in MP Finance because there was a farmer also in Region 6 who said that because of the flood and the incurred debts, he was like the man on the Harbor Bridge. He just killed
Just wanted to
himself.
kill himself.
And we are learning that this $10 billion that the government said they were giving to farmers have not gotten to farmers as yet. The money they said that was in line item 6141 for the public servants, as you clearly outlined there, Chris, has not gotten to the public servant as yet. So who got this money? Who thieving this money?
That's the
Boy.
minister.
Well, that's the real question, and those are the things that I want persons to keep looking at, Sharon, because you're right. We were in Parliament. We had the government come in for as with a supplementary budget. We had this big figure of $10 billion coming, and when the Prime Minister was questioned as to how he intends to distribute it and how he intends to get this money to the affected persons in Guyana, the citizens of this country, the poor people that are desperately in need of it because of the poor management of this government. He could not answer. There was not a plan, no plan at all of how he is going to distribute these resources. Nothing. So for me to actually expect him to have something in place right about now, it never happened. We knew from the beginning, because he could not give us those answers, that he had no plan to get the money to the people. We knew from the beginning that there was no plan to give the public servants any money, because we don't care about the public servants in this country, Sher. This is not old news or anything. This is actually, there's old news, because since prior to 2050, the PPP was in office, it did not care about the public servants. The coalition went into office and did so much for the public servants over those 5 years. And like I said, persons got used to it. Persons were looking forward to getting this retroactive salary increase and so forth, because as you're rightly saying, cost of living naturally increases with the pandemic and all of that, and with the poor management of the economy. Cost of living has skyrocketed in this country. Now, when persons, the PPP had gone ahead and they had done a $10,000 cash grant prior, when they had this whole election gimmick. Now they're doing this $19,000. Sherrod, if you are to compare the increase in cost of living from that period to now, you would see that the purchasing power of that is even less than it was for the $10,000 back then. And this is the truth that persons need to get to. The economics of it is completely poor. Don't go to the citizens of this country and treat them as though you are going to these poverty-stricken people to just give them a little sprinkle of goodness. Treat the people of this country with respect. Give the public servants an increase. Get the cash grants and whatever you're doing with the $10 billion to the flood-affected farmers. Treat those people with respect. We don't get this handout attitude of the PPP to just keep persons punishing enough so that when you give them a little bit of scrap, they are so thankful for it. We need to get past that. We are completely fed up as a country of that treatment coming from the PPP.
So aloo gone up, cassava gone up, edo gone up, plantain gone up, yam gone up, sweet potato gone up, onion, garlic, pine gone up, orange gone up, rent gone up. You're getting killed now for rent. Gas, diesel, carol, diapers, butter, bus, taxi fare, water, tennis roll, bread, toilet paper. You can't wipe your ass in this country. What is happening here? Right. And it's because we're saying enough is enough. We are going to be on the square of the revolution every Wednesday. Chris, tell us about that.
Yeah, exactly, Sharon. So all that you chronicled there just now, and based on us, on our outreach exercise across this country, people are frustrated and they want somewhere to vent their frustration. So as you rightfully mentioned, every Wednesday, like we did today when we started this exercise, every Wednesday from 12 to 1 p.m., we will be on the square of the revolution. And all of those persons of all of those issues that you are faced with, come on the square and vent it. You have your legal democratic right to pick it at any time, at any place. You don't have to get a police permission for that. And the MPs, we will be leading that way. So next week, Wednesday, even though it's a holiday, we will be on the square of the revolution at 12 to 1. Bet yet it's a holiday. You don't have an excuse. You got to get away from work. Bring out your mommy. Bring out your picnic. Come on the square. It's for 60 minutes. And of course, all of these exercises empathize, Sherrod, will lead into the public manifestation that will happen. Because there will be a series of public meetings that will also commence from next week, Wednesday. Wednesday, there is a public meeting that is going to be had at Turning Point, of which we will be sharing with the residents in that community. On Thursday, there will be a public meeting at the Stelling Top, which is in Brian Hoop in Region 3 on Thursday. On Friday, there will be a public meeting in Border Market between Rob and Border Green in that section. And the following week, there will be other meetings in Linden, New Amsterdam, Hope Town, Belladrum, just to name a few. Bartica is on the list. And then, like what is happening in New York on the 15th of August, because you are aware, your viewers, that there will be a massive demonstration in New York, which is being organized by Rickford Burke and his team there, to bring to the U.S. authorities' attention the atrocities and the situation that we're having here in Guyana. But at the end of the day, Guyanese in Guyana have to come out for themselves. So all of these activities will lead up to an event, a public manifestation that will happen on September
Fantastic. Fantastic.
5th. But as it starts now, on Wednesday, every Wednesday from 12 to 1 p.m. on the Square of the Revolution, you come out, the placards will be made available. We have those available for you. And of course, you are venting your frustration. We always say that, listen, when you have boots on the ground, so to speak, and you could count the number of people, then you know that there is an issue. But if you just sit back in your home and wanting to see the houses about, and you yourself isn't, exactly, that's what you have to say. I have to be there because you are coming to there, you're representing yourself, your family, your children, and all of these issues that we spoke about. You will be representing the farmer who perhaps is in Blackbush Polar but can't make it to Georgetown. You will be representing those students who, unlike you, perhaps, and I hope this is the situation, that at home your children have access to a device in which he or she have access to education. But across this country, the reality is this: thousands of children like yours have not been able to access any education, material, or otherwise for the past year. Do you imagine what's going to happen to those children? And that is why earlier on the program with Coretta McDonald, when she spoke about the education ministry and Priya Manik-Chan, and this nonsensical approach in which they are doling out $19,000, which first is inadequate. But you have to do like what the APNU AFC government did under the leadership of Kathleen Hughes, is that the telecommunication ministry was making available tablets and devices to children. And that is apart from creating the ICT hubs across this country in which children have access to the internet. You have a situation where now that they're doling out $19,000, which is inadequate. A parent or parents can't use that money to purchase a device. Worse yet, they can't access the Blaze Wi-Fi. They can't pay for reliable data so the children can access the internet to get their education. It makes absolutely no sense. But if you know the history of the PPP, they always do this. It's nothing new. They always have these programs in which they stated that they're cash, whether it's a cash grant for education for farmers and so forth, and the monies never go to the person who's supposed to receive it. It never goes there. And you always learn subsequently about huge amount of monies that went missing. Case in point, that same COVID cash grant. You recall last year, November, Irfan Ali said that he's calling in the Auditor General to audit the books of the COVID cash grant. And to date, it never happened. It never happened. And as you mentioned, and it is a fact, many of the persons who went walking around various regions claiming that they handing out COVID cash grants, many of them are driving like the minister who had the alien in Jamaica. Enough of them driving aliens and primo now. House bill over big renovation and so forth. And this is the norm. Those monies that's supposed to be going to the farmers, as Jarita mentioned, no farmer receiving that. You'll see something later, somebody could turn up, they could take some photograph it, handing out 2 checks. And the real farmers across this country who have problems accessing their land, who lost their rights, who can't purchase chemicals, who have
Yeah.
bank loans to pay. Tell your farmers, particularly in the West and East Babis, who have millions of dollars that they owe to banks and cannot service
Catching
their
hell.
loans, and they run the
Catching hell.
risk of those things being repossessed. And the sad that we read recently about the farmer who decided to take his own life because he cannot pay the loan. You think people? One of the reality, Sharon, closing for me. One of the reality of the People's Progressive Party is that they can talk what they want. They don't have the interest of people, irrespective of if there are their supporters or not. They don't have the interest of people at heart. They never did. It's always about lining the pocket with money and, of course, ensuring that monies go to their cronies and people
Correct.
associated with them.
Correct.
That is what they
Correct.
do.
Correct. Final thoughts, MP Flubest, Director Finance.
All right. I want to say to our comrades, I look forward to seeing you on Wednesdays with us at the picketing exercise on the Square of the Revolution. There is so many things happening around us that you need to come out there, get your boots on the ground, and let's make our voices heard. It is time for us to stand up and speak out against what is happening to us. And for the persons listening, let them know that the farmers in Mocha Arcadia are waiting this financial relief or whatever relief they have to offer to these farmers, and the farms are still underwater. So don't bring
Yeah.
seed and bring
Yeah.
a goat or a sheep and give them, because they're gonna put it in the water that is still on the land. Looking forward to see you, my comrades. Looking forward to see you on Wednesdays. Thank
Excellent.
you.
MP Finance.
Yes, Sharon, I must end with still going back a little on this with this $19,000 cash grant, and I just want to close by just reflecting on some of the comments that I heard from the Minister of Education today, in which she was stating that, oh, if persons want to build an additional room in the house or buy a computer and printer, I don't know which world the Minister of Education
It's
is living
19,000
in.
US.
I don't know which world the Minister of
19,000
Education is
US.
living in, because the last I checked, $19,000 can't build an extra room in your house. Probably can get the plan
It's less
drawn
than
up.
100 US dollars.
Exactly.
But
Less than
these
100.
are
Oh
the
my
things that
God.
are being said on the television through the government media, and these are things that we must address. And also, there is this claim that persons are so happy to get this money that they're lining up to come and get it because of the COVID pandemic. No. And I want to close by saying, no, persons are not happy to get this because of the COVID pandemic. That is not the reason. Prior to 2015, when the PPP was in office for over 20 years, persons lined up on the streets to collect the $10,000, because every single time the PPP is in office, this country is in a state of devastation, and
Yeah.
persons
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
hungry, and
Beggars.
persons
Yeah.
need every cent. So every time the PPP
Yeah.
is in office, we go to that state, and the PPP always love to keep Guyanese at a state of such
Yeah.
poverty that every
right.
little crumb that is offered, persons are going to line up and take it.
Yeah.
So there is one thing that is consistent about the lining up, and it's not it's not the pandemic of the COVID-19. No, it is not. The only thing that it has in common from the $10,000 to now the $19,000 is the fact that the PPP is in government.
Yeah.
That is the consistency. The
Yeah.
PPP is in government, so persons are devastated.
Yeah.
Persons are starving. We need a lot more done. Give the public servants their increase. Get the $10 billion to the flood-affected farmer. Don't bring this petty nonsense with the $19,000 and expect it to muzzle the voices of the persons that are desperately in need of resources at this time to survive in this country under the PPP.
Fantastic. MP Finance, MP Flubest, MP Jones, thanks very much for stepping in the ring and throwing these punches, because we got to knock these guys out. We got to knock
Correct
them
is
out.
right.
Knock them out. They got to go. They're too stinking dirty. Thanks for joining me this evening, guys.
Thank you for having us, Sharon. Have a good night, all.
Folks, there you have it. MP Director Finance, MP Nima Flubest, and MP Christopher Jones, our opposition chief whip. And I want you to know that along with these atrocities, that it was, for instance, in 2011, that the co-founder of the Alliance for Change, Sheila Holder, made the bombshell exposure certain exposures in the National Assembly, that there were 17,640 phantom persons receiving old age pension. So I want to know where this money there. What did the PPP did with the money? What did they did with the money for? What did they did with the money for the rice farmers? Where the money there for the rice farmers? That's what I want to know. Where the money there for the public servants? That's what I want to know. Where the money there? Where is the money? A whole pack of scamps, jagabats, knock-of-acamites. That is what we got. And trenchies. Wicked set of people. Folks, as we go, share the live stream. Those of you who are going to come back and view the program, share the live stream as well. We got to get the international community's attention on these many issues. Continue to social distance, wear your mask, sanitize, and practice all of the COVID-19 protocols that are in place for your health and your safety, that of your friends and your loved ones. And as we go, folks, a word from our sponsors.
Planning to buy or build your dream home, or even get that dream vehicle? Are you a member of the Guyana Public Service Cooperative Credit Union? Well, the wait is over. They're affording their members the opportunity to secure residential mortgages up to $50 million, starting at a matchless interest of 3.5% per annum, and vehicle loans up to $5 million at 1% of the reducing balance. Don't be stuck in that waiting position. Call them on telephone numbers 225-7876, visit their website at MyGPSCCU, or their Facebook page at the Guyana Public Service Cooperative Credit Union Limited. Your wait is over.
Yep. There you have it, folks. I noticed that MP Christopher Jones is still with us this evening. I don't know if he wants to come and fight them, because that's what I want to do. You understand? I want to fight them. That's what I want to do. Right? I try to unmute this mic because I feel like I got another hour in me. We got this fire in my belly to fight these jagabats. I'm tired of them. MP Jones, I noticed that you're still in. Please take off your mic for me. I'm trying to do it from my end without any success. We got to fight these guys. Share the live stream, folks. Welcome to, to Overtime Part 2.
Overtime.
I tired with them, Chris.
No, listen, Sherrod, it is beyond, and that's why I say this. And listen, when you listen to people across this country that tell you plain straight in every facet of society, they're fed up with the PPP. Fed up. And as I said earlier on Coretta's program, is that you can't compare the 5 years of the APNU AFC government, in which every Guyanese, irrespective of his ethnicity, irrespective of which party they support or voted for, they had a right to work and earn. And you had PPP activists who were working in the ministries. Some of them watching this program right now, and they can attest to that. You understand me? But what you have now, the PPP is there. Every person who looks like me and have a little color like you have been terminated because you're perceived to be a supporter of the opposition. What is wrong with that? In the United States and every country across the world, if a Republican or a Democratic government is in office, persons who are Republican, are registered Republican or registered Democrat, you are allowed to work and earn because it is enshrined in the Constitution that you have that right. But the PPP would want their supporters to believe that, listen, we in power, and therefore all of them nappy here persons like Christopher Jones, they gotta get knocked off. And then
Chris, I'm happy you mentioned that point about the Democrats and the Republicans. Now, the US has had one of the most divisive election in the last election that they've had. We saw what happened at Capitol Hill. Right? The insurgents, or whatever they call those people that stormed Capitol Hill. We saw that Donald Trump to date is stating that those elections were fraudulent. And you know what? Democrats and Republicans are sitting down to move their country forward. And here you got these jagabats that trying to pretend to this public and the international community that they got more integrity than anybody else. And you got that election happening in the US. And people are still working together. Why? To move their damn country forward. And we here fighting each other and Exxon digging out we back.
That's right.
Digging out we back without grease.
And case in point with that too, Sharon, it's as it relates to COVID-19 and the vaccine hesitancy. Why do you think people are hesitant to take the vaccine? They don't trust the People's Progressive Party Civic. And that is the reality, including some of their very own supporters. Some of their very own supporters who have not taken the vaccine. It is simply because, as much as it's their party and they vote from, they don't trust them. Because when it comes to making money and come up with some scheme that you buy how much thousands of vaccine and you pay how much millions of dollars, everybody knows that some of the money in somebody's pocket. Supporters are hesitant in terms of taking the vaccination. Now, as you mentioned, in terms of how the Democrats and Republicans, after the elections, the most heated elections, they come together to move the country forward. One would have expected that the fact that you will have vaccine hesitancy amongst our people, and everybody knows how Guyana is divided with different ethnicity and so forth, is that you would expect a right-thinking administration would know that, listen, in order for us to get Guyanese on board of all ethnicity to take this vaccine, is that they have to see a representative of theirs being a part of this. And it brings us back to the COVID-19 task force. Since they were installed, we call upon them to have us get representative on the task force, so we will know the information that is at hand and share the information with our base. That, listen, these vaccines are coming, these vaccines are not approved by the WHO and so forth. So people have knowledge and they have the information. That has not been so. When the APNU ARC was in government, immediately when we had patient zero, within a few weeks, a COVID task force was set up, which included all sections of society and requests from the People's Progressive Party. Not to representative, but to send representatives. They never took that up. They never took that up because the importance of people's representative and people seeing the representatives being involved.
What I want to know is Sarah's there, Sarah Lynch, as ambassador. Sarah seeing that divisive election that they had. Joe Biden, the big man that he is still reaching out because he needs the Republican for a successful tenure. And perhaps even a second term, he needs them, right? And so he's reaching out. These Jagdeo here telling us, but unless Christopher Jones don't say we are a legal, legitimate government, we are not working with them. Can Sarah call these people and say, what they ask y'all talking about? Meet with the opposition and move this country forward. Aren't they seeing? I mean, hear from them and watching TV.
Exactly.
They got a little big back TV in the house, the man. It's madness.
No, man, it is beyond madness. Like what you showed, you showed earlier in terms of those images where Irfan Ali is and Jagdeo is there.
Oh yes,
we know this from the inception. Irfan Ali is not president of this country. He has the title, but he don't run nothing. He don't do nothing. You understand me? And as you showed, BJ is right there. That is the Putin of Guyana. Put it that way. That is the Putin of Guyana. He should be ashamed. He should be ashamed. But I mean, Sharon, listen, like your viewers, we are in a worst place ever as a country. Worst place ever. Cost of living spiraling out of control. You have regions that are still grappling with the floods that have devastated their lives. You have farmers who've lost everything. You have parents who have their children at home who don't have access to the internet, and their children have not been able to access anything related with education for over a year. You have many households who either one or both have been terminated from their places of employment. That is the situation we have in this country.
I am happy.
Cost of living is.
I'm happy you mentioned that
and just a few is enjoying it.
I'm happy you mentioned that point because I want to make an appeal to Quartz Guyana as perhaps the largest retailer of electronics and so on in this country. I want to make an appeal to Quartz Guyana to lessen the price of those tablets. I see they got some nice Amazon tabs there for about $14,000. Give us a
Yeah.
bare minimum course. It's a pandemic. We want some more parents to access these things for their children. They need it, as you said, Chris. For some people, and couldn't afford those things for a whole year. And I'm appealing to GT&T. Come
That's
up with
right.
a nice package for parents. For parents, in some cases, you got 2, 3 children in one family, need the data. Come up with a nice package. GT&T, I'm making this appeal to you, and I'm making this appeal to Coach Guyana. Lessen the price for those tablet scores, and GT&T come up with a nice data package for parents and students. It's a pandemic.
Yeah.
Final thoughts,
But
Chris.
well, right there, former Minister Kathleen Hughes and the Ministry of Telecommunication, these same lump sum, this 3 point something billion that Satira girl is claiming that she's going to be allocating $90,000 per child, which we know millions of that is going to disappear. Is that those monies are what you use and go directly to the source, whether
Yeah.
it's in the US or whatever. These companies say that, listen, we need 200,000 of these tablets, right? And you
Yeah.
get them at a wholesale. You would even pay that 3 point something billion dollars. Bring those tablets in, and then like the appeal you just made to GTT and perhaps Digicel is that you go to them and say that, listen, we will subsidize this amount of the
Digital
cost
as well. Correct. Correct.
for what exactly Wi-Fi and data. And as a government, that's 3 point something billion dollars could have been used to purchase well over 200 or something thousand tablets, pay the telecommunication companies a subsidy so they can reduce their rate, and you hand out tablets because
Yeah.
you want to ensure that the monies that you are disbursing goes specifically for the purpose. Now, all of us know the reality, Sharon. If a parent has 2 children and they receive that $19,000, it is not going and purchase no tablet. It is
Yeah.
going and pay
Yeah.
GT&T. It
Yeah.
is going to pay
Yeah.
GPL. It will pay parts
Yeah.
or courts or Lucky Dollar or Singers and so
Yeah.
forth. No,
The
it is a
Chapman,
reality.
the corner
It has to
shop
pay
man.
rent. Some
Yeah.
of that is going to pay rent. You understand?
Yeah.
And you can't blame it because, I mean, listen, you ask way.
Your volume still, Chris. Sorry about that. Your volume still. It's still muted. This phone is too smart, Chris. The phone telling us it's time to go. Too smart. Still getting some trouble there. Nothing different. It's too smart. It's too smart. It's too smart. It's too smart. Try again for us, Chris. Yes. Final thoughts.
Yeah, yes. So I was saying, what persons to weigh their priority. For everybody, their priorities are different. Now, for me, when it comes to my children, that is number one priority. But the reality is that if you are a parent, you live in a house and you have this 90,000 you're supposed to have, but at the end of the month, you got to pay the rent, and your salary is only X amount. Now, what you think that parent would buy the tablet and go and live on the street? That is the
Yeah.
reality. And that is why, as a government, you say, as a government, you're big and you got sense, or you should got sense. You take that money and instead of people physical cash in which you have no idea what they're
Yeah.
going to do with that money. You purchase the equipment that you want the intention for.
Yeah.
You purchase over 200 something thousand of those tablets. You go to the telecommunication company and give them a subsidies to reduce their rates, and you hand out tablets.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they have access to Wi-Fi. And that is exactly what Mr. Kathleen Hughes and the AP and ARC government was doing in office. That's why you had all of these ICT hubs being created predominantly in
Propernet.
the hinterland regions, which I've never seen internet before. And all
Propernet.
of it, we don't even know what is happening
Propernet.
here with them. Similarly, with those radio stations across the country. So those who don't have access to Wi-Fi or data because they're so far flung, they have access to radio.
Yeah.
That is why the AP and
Foresight
UAFC
and
set up
leadership.
registrations across this country. So
Correct.
the learning channel could access those, and those students there have access to it. That is how one thinks. And that's why when you look at these jagabats, sometimes you are so
If you lose them,
frustrated,
yeah,
Sherrod, because it's like every facet of the society that you see with the PPP is bare stupidness, confusion, corruption, lining everywhere.
yeah,
That is the reality. And I mean, for me, as I said, September coming would be some 23 years since I've been active in politics. And this is what I know PPP for. And that's why I told people that consistently from 1997 election to the 2001 election to the 2006 11 to the 2011 election, I stayed the course. I stayed the course because I know that as a country, with all of these resources, the resources in this country are so plentiful that
yeah,
every Guyanese is supposed to be able to live a comfortable life. But it cannot happen under the People's Progressive Party Civic because their idea of governance is something completely different. And it speaks about the dictatorial tendencies of the PPP. They only know to rule by fear and intimidation. So they will say to you, Sherrod Duncan, like they are saying to many public servants across this country right now, let me hear one word out to you, and you can look for
yeah,
work next day.
yeah,
And they make that
yeah,
a reality too.
yeah.
So in many of these agencies, you have public servants who are literally, and obviously, if you ask them, they have to choose bread and butter because they have a family to maintain. That is how these jagabats rule this country. That is how
Yeah.
they operate in this country. You know, that is how they operate. It is a sad situation, and that is why these picketing exercise, and these activities in the United States, and that will happen here in Guyana, is that at some point in time you have to take a stand. You have to take a stand.
Very well.
You don't
Very
say
well.
that, I mean, person would say, let the AP and UAFC, yeah, call out your supporters. It's almost like they give you the impression like if the AP and UAFC have this vault, and all we got to do is open the vault, and thousands of people come running out. You are the people.
Yeah,
And that's why these
yeah.
small activities will start and it will manifest into we cannot it cannot be business as usual when a parent has to choose between giving their child a plate of food or to put in a $500 data in their phone. It
Yeah.
cannot be business as usual when people got to choose between paying rent or putting food on the table. It cannot be business as usual when somebody's being asked to do something corrupt within one of the government agencies or ministry or go home.
And that is to put things mildly.
This is
That's to put things mildly.
precisely. Yeah. And as we keep saying, I would say without fear of successful contradiction, Sherrod, that under the AP and UAFC, all Guyanese, irrespective of their political persuasion, can attest that the last 5 years they lived in peace and comfort.
Yeah.
I spoke with some
Yeah.
contractors just
Yeah.
day before yesterday in East Babis. And one contractor was relating to me that he done a lot of work under the APNU administration, work completed 100%. And to this day, the PPP has decided that they will not release a single cent to that individual. Hundreds of millions of dollars they
Yeah.
owe to this man. Now, right now, his business
You gotta live and eat and everything. Yeah.
exactly. People have to live.
Yeah.
But this is how they rule, with fear
Wickedness.
and intimidation.
Yeah. Chris, Chief Whip, I want to thank you for spending this extra time with us. Again, welcome back. You've been missed, my brother. Good to have you back on the ground here with us. And thank you for going overtime with us this evening. But we needed to get some things off of our chest.
Exactly.
Members of the public,
Correct is
see
right.
you guys tomorrow night. But in terms of the protest, see you guys next week, Wednesday at the Square of the Revolution, 12 o'clock sharp.
Correct.
Chris, thanks for joining me.
Most welcome, Sherrod.
Awesome. And folks, there it is. I ain't saying nothing else. Beat out. Y'all go and sleep, drink your porridge, and catch your bed. See you guys later. Do stay safe. Stay safe.